What's up, guys? So, for today, I'm going to be diving into push ups. Obviously, you see the dogs here today. Hopefully, they will remain quiet during my video, and also, hopefully, you can hear me. I put my AirPods in today because it gets a little loud here over by the road. But reason I wanted to do push-ups today, because I know like it's a huge struggle for a lot of people, especially if you need to pass a PT test, one, or you're trying to, get into the profession where it requires you to, or you're trying to get promoted, right? That's always really a struggle for a lot of people when they can't pass because, gotta get those push-ups in. So we're going to dive into a couple ways you can improve. Obviously, I do want to say like doing things more often than not is going to help you get better, right? So if you want to improve with anything, right? Maybe it's pull-ups, maybe it's push-ups, maybe it's, your deadlift. You have to do it more often than once a month. So if you're doing something once a month, it's not going to help you. You want to make sure it's included in your typical workout routine at least 2 to 3 times a week. That's going to help you. Okay. So if you are someone that's like, hey, I cannot do a push up to save my life, then that's what we're going to hit on today. Because I love push ups. I do them all the time, especially even on my chest days. I usually do them with as like a superset. So I'll do a like dumbbell press and then after immediately go into push-ups because it's going to help really work those chest muscles. So we'll dive in a couple ways you can improve. But first, I want to kind of talk on proper form because I see people over the years just not do push-ups correctly. And they're doing that like real wide out, far type of form, which it's going to put a lot of pressure on your shoulders. We don't want that. And I know some people really struggle with issues with their shoulders. So we'll dive into that. I did probably a reel on this like years ago, but we'll dive into it with a Facebook group. So hopefully my dogs let me sit on the floor today. So like I said, we don't want. I'm gonna have to adjust this stuff a little bit. We don't want right. We don't want wide shoulders. So we don't want to be like pushing up. Hopefully my hat doesn't get in the way. So we don't want to be out real wide like this, right? It's gonna put a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and a lot of times too, I see like this, where people are just like head bobbing. So in order to improve, we want to first work on form. So first and foremost, if you can't hold your body weight up, start with your knees, right? We want to make sure our knees are down. There's a couple ways you could do it. Usually I just like have my leg pretty flat here in the back if I do knee push-ups. But what you're going to want to do, I'm going to keep checking to make sure you guys can see me, right? See how my legs are just flat in the back? You could start that way. And very similar to when you do either bench pressing or a dumbbell press, you want to have your arms come close to your body, right? And then up. So start practicing there first. Start putting your body all the way on the ground, right? And come all the way up. Negatives are also going to help too, right? Really nice and slow. Nice and slow. The goal is to just build up the strength over time. It's not going to happen overnight. And if you plan on like, hey, I'm just going to like wing my PT test tomorrow, see how many push-ups I can do, like you're just setting yourself up for failure. So first and foremost, form, right? Again, close to the body. Just like if we're doing lying dumbbell presses. We don't come out here, right? It's too much pressure on the shoulders. And you're not activating your chest muscles. So you come here, you're working your triceps, your shoulders, like the front delt, and then you're also working the chest. So very similar. You want the same exact movements, right? Practice, practice, practice makes perfect. So coming here, right? And a couple other ways you can kind of practice. So we did the negatives, we showed you the form. We don't want to go out wide. You can occasionally do wide push-ups, but honestly, like you're not gonna need to. Right? So down here and up, right? So touching the chest to the ground. Another thing you could do is foot space. So from when I was in the Army, like I don't ever have them like remember them watching your foot spacing as much. They might be a little bit more strict now with the hand release push-ups. But what you want to do is the wider your feet are going to be, right? the easier it's going to be because your weight is going to be distributed. So if your feet are enclosed, it's going to be a lot harder. So put your feet out wider if you can, right? If you do after like a little bit outside of shoulder width, it's going to make it a lot easier. So again, start with knee push-ups, build up to regular push-ups. And again, we want to watch your form. So another thing you could do too, to really help you is like an incline. So you get like for instance, a chair, a bench, something where you can really start practicing and touch your chest to whatever it is. So if you're doing regular push-ups, start touching the floor, right? If you're half-assing your push-ups, you're never going to get better at them, right? It's just like anything. You half-ass it, you're not going to get better at it. So go ahead and touch the chest to the floor. The more you do it, the better you get. It's also, like I said, it's going to build up the strength over time. So I don't know if anyone's got any questions on push-ups today. I just wanted to kind of dive into that. I know we have some people in here who are like, I really need to pass my PT test with my push-ups. Obviously, resistance training is going to be huge. So bench pressing, dumbbell incline pressing, or just regular flat bench is going to help you, right? Especially with those stability muscles. So a lot of times people just go with machines. They're great to help you with form, but if you want to help improve other parts of your body, right, and your stability muscles, then you're going to want to start incorporating dumbbells, bench pressing, and things like that, just to help with that as well. The more weight you start to press, the better your push-ups are going to be, right? So if you're only pressing like tens, and every time you go to the gym, you're like, I only press tens, it's going to be a lot harder for you to improve strength-wise. So get out of your comfort zone. Start trying to push yourself each and every day in terms of how much weight you're using. That's why I have my clients say they can review their exercise history, and I encourage them to, because if it's week after week after week and you're doing the same weight, your progress is going to stall fairly quickly. So start doing that. Write down what you're using. Another thing you can do in terms of increasing your, chest strength is making sure you hit it maybe 2 times a week. If you're only hitting it maybe once a week, because I know a lot of people, they might skip it. So if you're skipping that stuff, don't, expect your strength to improve, right? So another one with the hand release push-ups. Hand release push-ups are going to be a lot harder, right? Because you're releasing all the tension at the bottom, and then you have to physically push your body back up again. So practice that a few times a week. Watching TV, maybe in between. Like I used to do push-ups at work, so with full gear on, because it would help, right? I have that extra weight on me. So when I would do regular push-ups, I'm like, oh, these feel easy. So do stuff at work. Push, like if you're, practicing at a desk job, push off the desk so we have to touch the floor. There's a couple of different ways you guys can improve, and it all just depends on how bad you want it, right? At the end of the day, how bad do I want to improve on this, that, and the other thing? So hopefully that helps you guys. If you have any questions, I don't know if I can actually see comments on this thing. I was like, I'm going to use my phone today in terms of my live. I just want to do a quick one on push-ups. I do have in the guides tab like a chest workout for you. So if that's something that you struggle with in terms of like how do I program like a chest workout, click on the guides tab in the Facebook group and you'll be able to see all that stuff. But I will say the goal is to increase strength. Then we're going to want to increase weight that you're using. And obviously, if you want to get better at something, you got to do it more than once every couple of weeks, right? So up the amount of time you're doing stuff, especially I know pull-ups is a big thing too. I would do pull-ups to improve probably like 3, sometimes 4 times a week. And that's how I went from like, maybe doing like 1 to 2 to being able to do them just like knocking out 20. So practice makes perfect, guys. So if you have any questions, you're still struggling with your push-ups and stuff like that, shoot me a DM. We can talk. If you're like, I can't even do one, it's just going to be practicing over time. So that's all I got for you guys today. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, all right, peace.